4 years ago, the issue of stores staying open 7 days a week gained public notice by way of legislation which forbade stores from selling certain items on 7 consecutive days. This legislation, which came to be called the Blue Laws in Texas, was protested successfully by operators of large discount stores, which often did land office business on weekends, but were unwilling to give up their weekday trade. The Blue Laws were later ruled vague and therefore unconstitutional. In the interim, however, some discount stores formed corporations such as Sunday Co., which bought entire stores from their owners on Saturday night, operated them on Sunday, and sold them back to the original owners on Monday morning. This avoided the Blue Laws, but in the view of some local stores, Leonard's and Mitchell's among them, it was a violation of antitrust laws. A suit to that effect was filed and lost. Now an appeal is pending before the Texas Supreme Court. Today's announced protest is aimed at hastening a ruling by the court on the latest appeal. I asked Cliff Overcash, Chief Executive Officer of Leonard's, what his firm's position is now.
We are not interested in working on Sunday, but we feel that we must in light of what's happening. This ruling may be that this law is not being evaded or avoided and that these people can continue to remain open. If that is the ruling, then we'll have to make a decision at that time whether to continue to be open or whether to close, in spite of these other stores being open.
The matter, of course, not confined to Fort Worth. But what, if anything, will come of it, we certainly won't know before tomorrow, and possibly not for several weeks to come. From Fort Worth, this is Jerry Taft, Channel 8 News.
Why has America invested such an amount at Love Field when the new international airport is soon to go into effect?
This region has grown so rapidly that it's necessary to take care of it. And the new building, the new airport, will not be finished in the next 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. I don't know what the present prognosis is, whether it's 1974 or thereabouts, but that gives us an additional 6 years. It may take even longer. We know that huge projects of this type do take more than sometimes forecast. So we intend to get a great deal of useful life out of this terminal.
Sir, we've heard rumors that a major portion of the corporate structure of American Airlines was planning to move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Would you comment on that, please?
I can't say now that we're going to move anybody or how many we will move, how many we're considering, but there certainly is a lively consideration now going on as to what we do about our growth. We'll need more space. Space will either have to be in New York or somewhere else. We're looking very favorably at the moment on the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Thank you.
The House Interim Committee on Employment and Wages heard many witnesses ranging from Chancellor of El Centro College to persons on the poverty level. The study is to gather and analyze factors contributing to economic problems and difficulties. Information brought out points up the problems of trying to overcome poverty. Here are some samples of the testimony.
We have this deep commitment to technical occupational education, and we are not unmindful that in the status totem pole, this does not have a high position. In fact, this is one of our problems. We're getting paid off for what I think we might call academic snobbery. You know, if you don't want to be a brain surgeon, you're a kind of an unambitious laggard.
The matter of underemployment employment, improving the present condition of people has one factor that I think we can never overlook, and that's the desire of the people themselves to be improved. I think you must start with this. I think today our biggest single problem has to do with motivation.
Which is the YMCA, the Girls Y. All these are good agencies, but they only give to the so-called middle-class Mexican American or the middle-class white or the middle-class black. But there is no programs that's geared to the so-called real hardcore.
Just what will be done with these problems is not known. In fact, what can be done is not really clear at this point. Committee Chairman Callan Graham said that the members will meet for several days next week to pore over the material that has been presented to try to determine just what they can do with it. He said there probably will be some recommendations for the legislative session beginning in January, but just what those recommendations might be, he could not say now. This is Rosser McDonald, Channel 8 News.
The plight of minority groups and low-income families received more attention today in Fort Worth. Grady Helm, director of the Community Relations Commission, announced a here and now approach to problems with a special trailer offering various services in the areas of special services, jobs, and educational facilities. The American Civil Liberties Union today offered to help in formulation of a manual which is now being prepared to aid Fort Worth police in arrests which involve the use of force. Police Chief Cato Hightower said the ACLU may certainly review the handbook, but that they have not been helped to ask in writing it. Unless the Texas Supreme Court acts tomorrow, many major department stores in Fort Worth, and possibly in Arlington and other cities, will remain open this Sunday to protest 7-day operation by many discount centers. The district attorney's office is now under injunction not to take any action against stores which remain open 7 days until the court rules on an antitrust suit filed by Leonard's, Mitchell's, and other Fort Worth stores and now under appeal. The FBI may have to be called in to identify an elderly man whose body was found on Rockwood Golf Course this morning. The county medical officer says the man apparently died of natural causes, although he was wearing 2 suits of clothing, and a preliminary report indicated he had swallowed a large quantity of a green fluid, believed possibly to be automobile antifreeze. This is Jerry Taft, Channel 8 News in Fort Worth.